So, welcome. This is just going to be a nice little short but effective workout, perfectly suitable for beginners, and quite a good example actually of how you can get a good bit done in Pilates, get your whole body moving without really too much time. And it'll give you an idea of what sort of things we might do in my classes as well. So, let's get started. We're going to start off seated, and we're going to do an exercise called bow and arrow, which is to get your spine rotating, turning, like you are, turning to look at something. Somebody shouted hello at you. So let's start seated nice and tall. I've got my legs apart. I call this long frog position. Palms facing towards each other, arms out in front. Take an inhale, get nice and tall on the mat. As you exhale, start to rotate through the head, then the spine to the right, letting the arm bend back with you. And then inhale as you fully extend that right arm. And then exhale, rotate back to centre. Let's do that again on the opposite side. So it's an exhale as you rotate, and at the same time, bend that arm back with you. Inhale, stay rotated, but straighten the arm. And then exhale, rotate back to centre. And again. So we're alternating sides. Use that exhale to get a little bit more movement in the spine. Notice that I'm moving sequentially. So what that means is I'm moving the head, neck, then all the vertebrae of the spine, bit by bit. And then I'm returning the exact same way. I'm coming back, rotating back through the spine, head coming back into place last. One more to each side. Stay seated nice and tall. Keep the sit bones really heavy on the mat. We want all that movement to come from the spine. Good. Oh, a little bit of shoulder work there as well. So, the next exercise is actually a very simple exercise, a very small movement, but it's actually quite hard to do well. We're going to do the C-curve stretch. So, still seated, but I've got the feet now, the soles of the feet on the floor. They're not actually completely on the floor. It doesn't matter if your feet completely flatten into the floor at all. I've got the hands behind the thighs, and I'm actually using those arms to help me sit up nice and tall. So I've got like a bit of a pull going on here, which is helping me connect into the back. So I've got a nice tall start position. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, I want you to drive the tailbone away. Tuck that tailbone, nod the chin into the chest, and create a C-curve shape with your spine. And then inhale, use those arms, lift back up to a neutral start position. And again, exhale, drive the tailbone towards the one in front of you. You really want that low back to nicely round. Inhale back up. Draw the abdominals in to create the C-curve. Lift that chest to come back to neutral. And I want your shoulders to stay over the hips the whole time. I don't want you to start to do that. It's quite a small movement, which is what actually makes it kind of hard to do well. Notice as well, I'm letting the elbows widen a little as I create my C-curve. That allows the shoulder blades to come apart, which helps your spine to flex. That can be the last one. Oh, it's just a really nice stretch for the lower back mostly, and it's quite good for warming up the spine. Now let's add on to that, let's build on it. So arms out in front again, create your C-curve, and then exhale as you start to roll back, sending the pelvis away, away, away. Only rolling back but so far that you still keep that nice C-curve. Quick sniff here. Exhale, use those abdominals to bring you back up, shoulders back over the hips, and then stack back up to the start. Good, let's do that again. So exhale, create your C-curve. Inhale here, and exhale, roll back. Roll each little vertebra of the spine onto the mat, just going so far that you feel like you can keep that C-curve. Might be a little bit different for everybody. And back up and restack. Just imagine that the pelvis is sliding along the mat. Stack back nice and tall to start, and then go again. So you're creating your C curve, and then you're opening up those hips while trying to maintain the C curve. This is a really good abdominal exercise if you're trying to build up abdominal strength. If you want to, you can stay down here and add a little rotation to each side, kind of like what we did with bow and arrow. So open up, twist those ribs over to the left, inhale back to centre. Exhale, let's rotate to the right. Ooh, back to centre. And then come back up. One more. If that's a bit much for you, just do the normal roll back. Yay! Back up. So we're going to lie down next, but you can either lie down just normally, or if you want to be a bit fancy, you want to flow into it, you can roll back down to the mat. But this time you're allowed to go all the way, going bit by bit, use those abdominals to control the movement, and come all the way down to the mat. Right. So we're in our semi-supine position now, and we're going to do some hip rolls. So this is more rotation of the spine. I want your legs to be super glued together for this one. You can take your arms out a little bit wider just to give you a little bit of balance. I'm going to inhale to prepare, and then as I exhale, I'm going to roll the legs over to the left, but I'm going to keep them really super glued together. So the right side of my hips lifting up, left side still on the mat. Inhale back to centre. And then exhale, go to the opposite side. Inhale back to centre. This is a little bit of a cheeky exercise in that the name's a bit misleading. It's called hip rolls, but actually the movement comes from the spine. It's not coming from the hips. It's coming from here, that spine rotating. So you want to keep the legs really glued together. You don't want them to start to come out of line with each other, because that's a sign that the movement's then started to come from the hips rather than the spine. It's quite a nice abdominal exercise. You're using your obliques to do this. Really controlling that movement. The legs are the weight that you're working with. Keep the shoulder blades nicely on the mat. Now let's progress that a little. So that's the very beginner version of hip rolls. Hip rolls can be progressed way through to some quite advanced exercises. So we're going to go to the next level. So come into a double knee fold for me. Some Pilates teachers call this tabletop. Legs super glued together still, and the legs are going to be even more of a weight now. You've added load by folding the knees up into there. But the movement stays the same. It's an exhale as you rotate through the spine. Inhale back to the start. Keep those legs super glued together. Imagine you've got a gold coin in there and you don't want to drop it. Back to centre. Keep those shoulder blades on the mat. Now if you want to, you can add a little fancy variation. You roll over, then the outside leg fully straightens as you inhale, and then exhale, roll through to the other side, and switch the leg that's extended. Roll over. It's quite hard, this one. A little bit of fancy choreography. If it's too much for you, feel more than welcome to just do the normal hip rolls. One more. And have a wee hug. Hug the knees in. Wee massage there for the lower back. Rock and roll. Now, we're going to do some spine curls. Great exercise for your spine's flexibility. Great one to do if you've got a bit of low back pain as well. It really just gets the spine moving against gravity. And it can build you up to doing a lot of the more hard exercises that involve that spinal flexion. So, without further ado, take a nice inhale to prepare. As you exhale, think about bringing the pubic bone towards the belly button, flattening the low back into the mat, and then you're going to start to wheel the spine up off the mat, bone by bone. until you're balanced on your shoulder blades at the top and you're in this nice, lovely long bridge position. Inhale at the top, and then exhale as you melt back down through the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and then the pelvis reconnects last. And again, exhale, imprint the lower spine. And then let the knees do the work. Start to push the knees towards the toes, and the spine will just follow right up. And melt back down, bone by bone. So I want you to be able to count your vertebra almost when you do this. I want you to be able to feel each little bone of the spine articulating its way up off the mat, bone by bone. Really good for your spine's flexibility. The upper body should be relatively relaxed because it's the glutes, the hamstrings, the legs, they are doing all the work. One more. Now, I want you to try and do some knee folds in this position without anything here shifting as much as is possible. So I'm going to inhale to prepare, and as I exhale, I'm going to start with the left heel. I'm going to peel the heel off the floor, and then I'm going to fold the left knee in towards me. And my mission is to try and stop the hips dropping. And lower back down. Exhale, fold the right knee in. Keep those hips high. Inhale, back down with control. So that supporting leg, the foot that's still on the floor, is having to work really, really hard to keep your body up here. Your glute on that side is doing overtime. Keep pressing into the heel, especially the heel of the supporting leg. So your body's having to really rebalance itself here. Oh, keep the hips nice and level. Use the back of the arms if you must. And back down. Lovely. Now let's do some bridge pulses. So this isn't the spine curl, we're just going to lift up in this one. Like lift the hips straight up rather than doing the articulating through the spine. So what I want you to do is, on an exhale, drive through the heels to drive the hips up. Then inhale, lower back down, but don't quite let the bum touch the mat again. It's like it almost slightly does, but then you change your mind and you pulse back up. Let's do that 10 times. Try and keep the knees the same distance apart the whole time. It's just the hips closing and opening. I've lost count. I'm a terrible counter. I'd say that's about 7, 8, 9, and 10, and lower back down. Good, lovely. So, bit of abdominal work for you now. I know that you want that. So, hands behind the head. You can see the elbows out of the corner of your eyes. We're going to do some curl-ups. So this is the standard curl up, which I love to repeat in class all the time because it's a really good one to get right. So on an exhale, curl up, head, neck, travel through the vertebra of the spine, but only come up so high that the pelvis doesn't shift. It's kind of like you're sawed in half when you do a curl up. Nothing below here really moves. And it's an inhale, back down. And again, breathe out from the centre of the chest. It's almost good to imagine that there's something like a gold coin here on the chest that's sort of dropping down as you breathe out. And this is bone by bone as well. So you've got 7 vertebrae in the neck alone. So it's neck peeling, then into the upper back. Tailbone stays nice and anchored on the mat. One more like this. Let those shoulder blades lift up off the mat with you. Now let's add a little cheeky knee fold to that. So I'm going to curl up exactly as I was just doing, while at the same time folding my right knee in towards me. Inhale, return. And yep, you guessed it, opposite knee. Back down. Now I want you to be doing this without the pelvis moving. The pelvis stays nice and stable on the mat. Feel that tailbone being heavy in the floor. One more to each side. And now we're going to do some toe taps. Toe taps is quite simple, but it can feel pretty deadly. It's hard work for your abdominals. Now, I'm going to do it with a curl up, but if that's too much, please feel free to keep the head down and just do it with just the legs. It still works. So, I'm going to do it curled up, as I say. So, I'm going to double knee fold. I've got the legs a little bit apart. I'm not joining them together for this one. And I'm going to curl up. Now, I'm going to stay curled up as I exhale and lower the left thigh bone towards the floor. And inhale back in. And then, opposite leg. Exhale, lower that thigh bone. Inhale, return. Now, I'm only lowering so much that my low back doesn't arch. I don't want the pelvis to move. I don't want to disturb my curl up. If you're not doing it with a curl up, then you just have to focus on that pelvis not moving. No low back arching. It should feel rather excruciating if you do it right. Yep, sorry, it doesn't really get much easier. Really good abdominal challenge. Simple, but effective. Oh, one more to each side. And back in. Oh, it's amazing how much you can really feel just really simple movements like that. So, right, let's get some prone work in. We're going to keep it short and sweet. So, our back really needs to extend. We want our spine to be able to back bend. It's really important for a strong back and a really flexible spine. So, never skip extension. So, we're going to come into prone position for this. And let's do dart. Dart's a nice exercise to get into whenever you're first starting to do your extension. So, I've got the big toes connected. The arms are down by the side of the body. Forehead resting on the mat. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to slide the nose along the mat. I'm going to extend the head, neck and the upper back, really pushing my chest forward. That's on an inhale. And then I'm going to exhale to go back down with control. And again, so it's an inhale to extend the head, neck, upper back, and I'm rotating the arms in towards the body. So the palms are in towards the body, and I've connected the legs as well. And I've created this long dart position. Exhale back down. And again, so you're creating a nice long spine, pushing the sternum towards the wall in front of you. At the same time, get that nice squeeze of the inner thighs. Now we do extend the low back as well, but for this exercise I'm just getting you to focus on the upper back. I'm perfectly happy for this area here to stay still. Push the crown of the head forward, push the chest forward. Reach those arms down to the bottom of the mat. Now, if you want to, we can add a little challenge. Inhale, come up into the dart. Exhale, open the arms out to the side. Oh, I don't quite have enough space on one side, but you might have. Inhale back in, don't drop the chest, and exhale back to the start. Again. Create the dart. Don't drop the chest as you open the arms out to the side. Return the arms back in. Then you're allowed to go back down. One more. Oh, lovely. Then you can have a little breather in child's pose. So push the butt back towards the heels. Release the spine around the thighs. And breathe. Beautiful. Now, a little bit of upper body before we cap off. Let's say I'm keeping this one fairly short and sweet. So, upper body. Let's do tabletop. So just have the hands underneath, the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees below the hips. And you want to stick your bottom out like you're shaking your tail feather. So you've got a nice neutral spine. So what we're going to do is, we're going to inhale as we slide the left leg away and lengthen it off the mat without the spine noticing. And at the same time, the opposite arm, the right arm, is going to lengthen off the mat. Then I'm going to exhale as I draw all back in. So let's do that again. Inhale, sneak the opposite arm and leg away. Lengthen them away from the body. Exhale, with control, return them back in. Now this is a spinal stability exercise. I want your spine to stay really strong and stable. If it helps you, you can imagine that there's something balanced on your back and you don't want it to drop off. We want to keep the pelvis and spine relatively still. To be honest, that's quite hard to achieve in this position. You'll probably find you'll get a little bit of movement there, but just try and keep it as minimal as possible. Back. So this is strengthening your upper body. It's kind of, you're not far off doing a plank here. And back. The core muscles working hard to keep the spine stable as you sneak those limbs away. One more to each side. Inhale, sneak, 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 lengthen, lengthen. Back in. Good. Now let's do a little bit of planking. So I'm going to slide one leg away, followed by the other. So now I'm in this nice long plank. I don't want any butts up in the air. I want you to be nice and strong in your tummy muscles. And we're going to alternate which legs we're doing. So this is leg pull front. Left leg comes up and return. Then right leg. Inhale, right leg up. Don't let the spine change. Exhale, return. Alternate side. Stay nice and strong in those arms. Don't hold your breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale to lower. Really working that upper body now. One more to each side. And bring the legs back in. Have a little shake of the wrists if you want as well. Oh. Now, we want our spine to side bend as well. So your spine can move forward, it can rotate. We've done lots of rotation. It can bend back, it can extend, but it can also bend side to side. So let's do mermaid. Lovely exercise. Now, to sit, I've got my left leg out in front, right leg behind. And I'm going to side bend towards the leg that's out in front. Okie doke? If this really doesn't agree with you, you can sit in the long frog position. But if you can, this is the way we usually do mermaid. So, let's do it with the arms out, just a little bit in front of the body. Inhale, I'm going to take my right arm in towards the head. And then on an exhale, I'm lengthening the head, neck, spine, over to the left. I'm going to nicely inhale here. I'm pressing into that left arm. And then stack back up. Okay? Then you can do a little counter stretch on the other side. I like to grab hold of the leg that's going behind me, the ankle, to really help me go into that counter stretch. And then let's do that again. So inhale, arm floats up, and then exhale here. Inhale here, breathe into all those ribs. Lengthen this side of the body as much as you can. And exhale, stack back up. And a nice inhale here. Oh, that feels good. Arms out in front. It's very much like you're moving in between two panes of glass. You want the spine is just going side to side. Once you get the hang of it, you can make it quite flowing if you want. Create a nice flowing pace. Lovely, isn't it? One more counter stretch. I love the counter stretch. Oh. And let's just do a few on the other side. This is my bad side, so I apologise. It may look a bit dodgy what I'm doing on this side. If you're doing it, you've probably got a side that doesn't feel as good as well. Arms out in front. See, it's really awkward for me to sit this way. So, inhale. Make this side of the body really, really long, lengthening that up towards the ceiling. And counter stretch. Don't forget the little press into this arm. It helps you really stretch out that side of the body. Breathe into the ribs. Stretch. Feels good. I love this one. Once you get into it, it's great. It can feel a bit awkward at first. I remember that. But once you get used to it, it's a lovely exercise. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, so that is us for my little beginner flow for you to do. So this gets in all the movements of the spine, you get a bit of leg work in it as well, there's a little bit of shoulder, some upper body strength. So yeah, just doing stuff like this a few times a week is absolutely perfect for looking after your movement. And of course, if you want a bit more in depth, you want a bit more variety, you want somebody to watch what you're doing, give you new ideas, come to a class, join in, or have a one-to-one with me here in my little home. So, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully see you soon.